Once Human is one of the most anticipated games for 2024, but there are still questions that I often see asked that are hard to find answers to online. So for this video, I'm going to answer those questions and provide the latest sources that we have for those answers. We'll be covering the following topics I have on screen, and I've included timestamps if you'd like to go to a specific part of the video. I've also included sources for all my information in the description down below, so feel free to take a deeper dive into that if you would like to. This took me a good amount of time to put together, so if this video ends up helping you out, feel free to drop a like and subscribe to really help support the channel. First off, let's talk about platforms and price. Once Human will be releasing on PC on July 9th, 2024. It will be available on Steam, Epic, and presumably their own launcher that they use for the betas. It will also be free to play on all platforms. Once Human will also be releasing on mobile, but not on July 9th. We aren't sure yet on an exact release date for mobile, but presumably the mobile launch will be shortly after the PC launch. Also, for those wondering, the mobile version of the game will have complete parity with the PC version, so you'll have the same account, same content, and everything in between. A lot of players have also been asking about a console release. The developers have stated that they want to do it, but that the PC and mobile versions are the priority for launch, so we're not really sure when it will be available on console. I'll also be doing a full launch stream for the game on July 9th on both YouTube and Twitch, so feel free to pop in and say hi on launch day. Now let's get into monetization, which is probably the hottest topic for the game. Just as a warning, there is a bit of contradictory information here, so I'd love to know your thoughts on that when we get to the end. So with it being a free-to-play game, the concerns of pay-to-win definitely arise. Derek, who is the head of operations at Starry Studio, has said on multiple occasions that pay-to-win will not have a place in Once Human. Most recently in their Meet the Developer video from June 5th, 2024, which is nearly a month before the official launch. They said they plan to monetize the game solely through cosmetic transactions, such as decorations for your base, vehicle and gun skins, and cosmetics purely based on the character appearance. So here's where we can get into some of the things that may contradict those statements, and I'd like to thank this commenter, Nathan, for sending this over. What we're looking at here is a screenshot from the Chinese version of Once Human. This is apparently a monthly subscription that will be available in-game that provides monthly bonuses. Most notably, you can receive increased carrying capacity, free adrenaline shots every 2 hours, and an upgrade for your camp that allows friends to use it while also allowing you to repair and disassemble materials. The other items in this monthly subscription seem to be related to Eternaland, currencies for seasonal shop and cash shop, and possibly skins for deviation. The cosmetic items aren't really a concern, but increased carrying capacity, extra adrenaline shots, and camp upgrades could definitely be viewed as pay to win, especially if you're a PvP player. Now personally, I don't think these are a huge deal, as I've seen something similar in Elder Scrolls Online with their ESO Plus subscription, but I do think that it's misleading to say that there are no pay-to-win elements at all and then introduce a monthly subscription for these bonuses. It's also worth noting that the game isn't out yet, so these things are all subject to change and may not be relevant at launch. Starry Studio has been pretty receptive to feedback, so if the majority of the player base has an issue with this, I'd like to believe that they'd make a change. At the end of the day though, this is exactly the type of thing that the player base has been worried about, and it honestly just sucks to see this so close to launch. If this had been something that they were more open about earlier, at least they'd have more time to adjust it based on player feedback, but it feels like they may be trying to sneak this in for launch, which just doesn't sit right with me. Now, as for the rest of the monetization, I'd like to thank Macy Wick for showcasing how they're handling it on Chinese servers, and Nathan for sending this over to me in my Discord. I've put her channel down below if you would like to support her. She doesn't show the monthly membership that I mentioned, but she has a lot of other great insight. In her video, she showcases the Battle Pass, which will have a free and paid tier. It appears that everything in the Battle Pass is related to cosmetics. Even in the paid tier, they have a key currency that you can earn, which apparently is only used to purchase cosmetics. The Battle Pass also rewards a limited amount of Starcrom, and there does seem to be the ability to purchase Battle Pass levels with real money. So technically, you can buy Starcrom in the game, but it will be a limited amount. In my opinion, I think this is fine since you aren't able to purchase endless amounts of Starcrom. The price of the paid tier of the Battle Pass looks to be around $10 US, with the option to purchase a premium version for around $20 to $25 US. The premium version gives you extra cosmetic items and a 15 level head start on the pass. She also shows us the currency you can purchase with real money and the shop that you can use that currency on. It looks to be all cosmetic items in the shop, like character and weapon skins. It looks like you can also purchase a name change token and character appearance change token in the shop as well. With this being the most controversial topic on the game, I would love to know what you think about it in the comments, or feel free to join our Discord community. We've got a ton of Once Human players in there, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'll be honest, seasons are something that still confuses me a little bit, so this is the best explanation I can come up with for how they work. All of this information was pulled from the developer blog that they published in March 2024. In Once Human, every season has exclusive seasonal content within a fixed time frame of 6 weeks. Content will vary season to season, introducing new stories, mechanics, and events. Within each season, players will be able to choose different scenarios to play through that will lead you to different areas and present new storylines. Seasons will be subdivided into different season stages, each offering unique gameplay features and challenges. New stages will unlock based on a timer, and each stage has different tasks for the entire server to do. By completing these tasks, everyone on the server will earn rewards. As the season progresses through stages, more regions and content will be unlocked, allowing players to access the full storyline and culminating in a final battle that quote-unquote will envelop the entire game world. After all of the season stages are complete, the server will enter the settlement phase, and players will be free to do whatever they would like, and this is really your opportunity to transfer items to Eternal Land to prepare for the next season. At the start of the next season, you can then choose what you would like to withdraw from Eternal Land. When a season ends, you can choose to either replay the same season or sign up for a different season. You may be wondering, what will get wiped between seasons? Macy, from the video that I mentioned earlier, actually shows what gets transferred to the next season. There are 3 main categories here: things that are tied to your character that don't get wiped, things that need to be transferred to Eternal Land so they don't get wiped, and lastly, things that will end up getting wiped. Here is a screenshot of what will be tied to your character and won't be wiped. Things like Starcrom, blueprints, cosmetics, and more listed will stay with your character. Here are things that will need to be transferred to the Eternal Land Depot, things like crafted armor and weapons, materials, and everything else listed here. Finally, here is what won't be transferred to the next season. Your level, energy links, map progress, stronghold progress, and season challenge progress won't be brought to the next season. So I know this is kind of confusing, and really to sum this up, seasons are something that every player participates in and they last 6 weeks. Scenarios are something that players can choose on their own and they provide different storylines and quests. And season stages are something that is set to a timer and change as the season progresses. The server you're on can participate in season stage challenges that will provide rewards for everyone on the server when that stage is complete. Now, towards the end of a season, you'll enter the settlement phase where you'll be able to transfer items to Eternal Land and prepare for the next season. That's honestly the best explanation I have for it, but I'm sure we'll get a better idea when the players actually get their hands on an entire season's worth of content. Now, whether you're a PVE or PvP player, Once Human has something for you. Now, unfortunately, at this time, we don't exactly know what that something looks like. In Beta 2, all servers had opt-in PvP, so you could have a fully PvE experience, fully PvP experience, or a mix of both on the same server. In Beta 3, which was the latest beta, servers were split into PvP servers and PvE servers. For launch, we're still unclear on what direction they're going to go with. There have been rumors on both sides, but there's been no official confirmation yet. Personally, I think splitting up the servers is likely a better option. Even though there is a risk of hurting player population if the community is split, it will make balancing much easier. The developers have already mentioned that they plan on having different balancing for guns in PvP versus PvE, so I think having separate servers makes more sense for that. Also, fun fact, the developers have confirmed that they'll be adding PvE world bosses, which I think is a great addition. I'm excited to party up with people and do some world boss farming just like I did in ESO. Now, I am primarily a PvE player, so if you're a PvP player, I'd love to hear what you think in the comments about how the servers should be set up for launch. Now, speaking of servers, let's talk about some more specific server information. There will be over 4,000 players per server in the game, and they have confirmed that there will be server regions on a global scale, including both East and West servers for the US and EU. We'll likely get a full server list with regions closer to launch, but they have confirmed that there will be servers on each continent. We can also expect the map size to be larger from the betas as well. We maybe played about 1/3 of the map in the betas, and they've confirmed that new scenarios will lead you to new parts of the map, such as the Snowy Mountain area, which we've never explored before. The developers have also mentioned that they are discussing the ability to play certain activities with friends on other servers. Once Human allows you to add cross-server friends, and although you aren't able to explore the world freely with them, you may be able to queue up for silos, raids, and other activities with them. We haven't had confirmation on that yet, but my guess is if they are allowing you to have cross-server friends, then we'll likely get the ability to do cross-server activities. And lastly, for those who don't know how servers work, you essentially have multiple worlds or instances within a single server. So if I was in server Starlight B, that server has multiple worlds within it that you can easily swap between at a teleportation tower. I actually have a video detailing on how this works from the betas, and it will probably work the same way at launch, so feel free to check that out in the description down below. Finally, and most appropriately, let's chat about the endgame. It's a little difficult to paint a full picture of what the endgame will look like since we've only experienced limited content in the betas, but I'll do my best to talk about what I think endgame will look like. First off, let's talk about level cap. The cap for the betas was level 50, and it will probably be the same for launch, but the developers have said that it will increase the level cap as they add more content to the game. In the betas, the endgame primarily consisted of farming Star Crom in order to get more spins on the Wish Machine, for more blueprint fragments to unlock more weapons and gear. This led to a lot of monotonous tasks, and it honestly kind of felt like we were relying too much on RNG. The developers have stated though that you will be able to earn blueprint fragments for the launch game via silos, prime wars, and bosses, so the end game for launch will likely have a different gameplay loop than what we experienced in the betas. So you won't solely be farming for Star Crom anymore, but you'll also be farming blueprint fragments, which I think is an overall better approach to endgame. These are the types of activities that you can expect for endgame that we know of so far. Prime Wars, where 40 players get together on the map to build defenses and take down a large boss. The developers have actually said that the cost to build defenses will be lower for launch, and they will also be increasing rewards, which is really great to see. There'll also be hard mode silos, where 4 players party up to complete the dungeon for increased rewards. You'll have raids, where 4 players party up and need to complete an extended dungeon essentially with unique mechanics. You'll also be trying to level up your blueprints to max. This is where having blueprint fragments as rewards for activities really shines. And then you'll also be working to maximize your calibration for your gear, getting your gear maxed out to have the highest score possible. You will also have things like season goals and challenges and Eternal Land to work on, so I think there will be plenty of things to do in the endgame, but honestly the full experience of the endgame is still yet to be seen. Now, if you would like to submit feedback directly to the developers about any of the things that I've covered in this video, one of the best ways to do that outside of the game is to join the official Once Human Discord server. I've dropped a link down below if you would like to join. They have channels for submitting ideas, and they even let the community vote on which ones they want to see implemented. In addition, they also have channels for finding groups to play with and getting in-game help, which I've found super useful while playing. So that pretty much wraps things up on a lot of the important things I think most players want to know. If there's anything I missed, please let me know in the comments and I'm happy to provide more details. As a reminder, I've included sources for everything I've mentioned in the description down below if you would like to take a deeper look into any of those topics. This video has taken me a while to put together, so please feel free to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. There's a lot more I have planned for Once Human, and as a reminder, I'll be doing a launch stream on July 9th on both YouTube and Twitch, so I'd love to see you pop in there and say hi. Thank you so much for all your time today, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.